I do want to say something interesting. So, you know how Matt and Colleen still do not live together? Something she said on this podcast was very odd to me, which is that she went from living with roommates. Remember on the show, she talked about having two roommates. And then now they were talking about her living in a studio apartment. And I'm like, well, I thought you guys were waiting for your lease to be up in order to move in together. But here you are living in a studio apartment now while waiting for a new apartment with Matt. And I'm like, why would you be living in a studio apartment together? Didn't Matt have a big apartment or a house or something like that? Like, it's really confusing to me. I don't understand it. Like, if the least excuse was that, why would you take on a new lease, or is it an Airbnb? Something about that story was not adding up. She claims that they're going to be moving together in like 2 weeks or something like that. But again, where the heck, did that studio apartment come from? Where was it in the timeline? And why is that what they were living in? Matt has a really like prestigious job. And so it just doesn't make sense to me that he would be sharing a studio apartment and this and that. And they're renting a new place. It's not like they were saving for a down payment. I don't understand it. Like, a bit odd to me, but I digress. So she also told Natalie and Deep Tea that although she and Matt don't live together full time, it's like they practically live together full time because he hasn't really been back to his own house. There you go. In a month, and they've been together in her studio. I'm sorry, but between a house and a studio apartment, I would rather stay in the house. But I guess because it's in a different city or something like that, and she obviously has to be in a certain area to do ballet. You can't do that remotely, and I guess he is able to work remotely or do the commute better. Maybe he has a car and she doesn't. I'm not sure, but I would have loved for them to clarify that a little bit better. Natalie also says that there are other couples who have waited even a year before moving in together, but they've kept it pretty quiet. So everyone thinks that Matt and Colleen are the first to continue living apart before moving together. So Natalie did want to kind of like shout them out on their journey and say, thank you guys for at least being open and honest about that, because some of these folks are lying. Despite all of the dragging that Colleen and her relationship had gotten, she says that she would actually be open to doing reality TV again. Not another dating show, but something else. I thought it was interesting that she said not another dating show, like she wasn't married or something like that. Not even like, oh, because I'm married. Like Deepti had to say, yeah, because you're married, right? Like that was a little bit odd to me. And also the fact that she would want to get back on something where like the feedback was so harsh that she could not be left alone. I don't know. I found that odd, but I don't know. A lot of things about this situation are odd. Although it was a really good episode of Natalie and Deep Tea's Love is Blind Recap podcast. Again, it's called Out of the Pods. Make sure to give it a listen, or you can even watch them on YouTube if you're more interested in like kind of seeing faces, because I know a lot of people are like that. I enjoy listening to podcasts, but I can also sometimes appreciate watching the video format.